Greetings, viewers, and welcome to Kerrex Reviews. Wes Craven. For over 40 years, Wes Craven has provided ample entertainment for horror movie fans, so much to the point where he's been given the nickname the Master of Horror. And with his work spanning from many variations of the genre, from the revenge horror Last House on the Left to the exploitation horrors of The Hills Have Eyes, from the thought-provoking action of Swamp Thing to the campy thrills of A Nightmare on Elm Street, he has most definitely earned that title. But we're not here to talk about any of those films. Oh no. Today, we're going to be talking about a more recent title called Red Eye. No, not that Red Eye.
I speak, of course, of bronies, otherwise known as a growing number of men in love with the show My Little Pony.
That's not the Red Eye I mean either, and you know it. No, this Red Eye is a suspense thriller on a plane. It was also during the production of this movie that Wes Craven actually got married. So at least he managed to get something out of this. So let's get a kickstart on this Halloween season. This is Red Eye. So the movie begins with an overview of a desk with someone putting down their keys and wallet, when suddenly it gets swiped. We then cut to a montage involving shrimp crates from what I assume is our bad guys, as we discover that the wallet belonged to Colonel Stryker, and the shipping crate turns out to be a cover for some top-secret operation. We then cut over to an airport where we meet our main character, Lisa, played by Rachel McAdams, who is being pestered by her little sister, who turns out to be extremely incompetent at her job and needs her big sister to rectify her multiple errors. But it's mainly to establish our main heroine's career as a hotel manager, and that a very important political figure is going to book a room in that hotel.
Is this Mr. Keith Platinum Club or something?
He's political, Homeland Security.
Gets a call from Colonel Stryker, who turns out to be her dad in this movie.
What's up?
And he mentions the house is being renovated while also mentioning his stolen wallet.
Oh, they made some headway in the last few days. I lost my wallet, but that's par for the course. But it's looking good.
Dad, I'm taking the red eye. It's the last
All right
flight
then,
out.
looks like we have a title.
Wait, I love you. I'll call you tomorrow.
It turns out her flight has been delayed, so she now has to wait in line, and it's right here we get an establishing shot of some guy played by Cillian Murphy.
I work during the day.
Some douche then decides to rant about the somehow topical subject of the TSA.
So if we don't rebook them, they'll miss their flight.
Oh, so it doesn't matter that you canceled my first flight and then rerouted me twice.
But then the Cillian guy steps in and puts him in his place.
18 hours straight, and she suspects we all hate her just as much as you do.
This airline sucks.
Thank you.
After the two of them have a little chat, she gets ready while we stumble upon some little girl flying all by herself for the first time.
This is the first time you're flying all by yourself.
As our main heroine slams right into a Starbucks patron. A classic plastic moment.
It's iced. Don't worry.
She then goes to the restroom to change, and we notice a scar across her clavicle. Oh hey, it's just like the one the Misato's got. She catches up with the Cillian guy, and they start bonding in an extremely unusual way.
So are you headed home?
Yeah, trying.
Yeah, flying is so much fun these days, huh?
Fun for me is just getting off that plane in one piece.
Ooh, One Piece? Did somebody mention One Piece?
Oh, the name's Jackson.
We then learn the guy's name is Jackson,
Is it Jack?
and we get a tiny bit of backstory on him, as well as some foreshadowing for later on.
Last name's Ripner.
Jack Ripner. Jack... the...
You see what they did there?
That was a very nice...
Because fuck subtlety.
No, that's what I told him before I killed him.
We get some random shots of people as we're given the political figure mentioned earlier, as he's from Homeland Security, along with some social commentary on the time period this movie's set in.
During his first press conference.
I don't discriminate, I communicate, just not always with a kind word. But first you have to have their attention. Do I have your attention?
I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention.
Thank you.
And then the plane is set to board.
Miami, Florida.
Thank you.
As we are inside the plane, we get to witness what it's like to be in coach. It seems pretty tame compared to the times I flew. And she ends up sharing a seat with
Hi.
Jackson.
Again.
What are the odds, huh?
Yeah, I know.
Wait a minute. You're not stalking me, are you?
Actually, what we're about to see is quite the contrary. The movie then tries to distract us from this development by having him give a helping hand. The plane is getting ready for takeoff, and it's here where the film's previously lighthearted tone slowly starts fading away as the movie finally makes its way into Wes Craven mode.
We may hit more turbulence. Thank you.
So what do you do?
Government overthrows, flashy, high-profile assassinations, the usual.
Okay, I'm not sure where you're going with this.
Charles Keefe, one of your regular VIPs, ring a bell?
He then starts giving off all the details he knows of her dad's wallet.
J.R. Joe Reiser, your father, yes? Oh, I didn't get it. My associate grabbed it off your dad's desk, apparently next to your graduation picture. J.R. Definitely dad's wallet, his initials.
He then goes on to explain that he has a partner overlooking her dad at the moment, saying that he's a hitman, and threatens to have Stryker killed if she doesn't comply with his demands.
Take it out of my pocket. You tell the flight attendant, and your dad dies.
We wouldn't expect anything less from the Scarecrow. She then gets the stewardess's attention, and Jackson completely thwarts those plans as he uses the earlier information against her.
Oh, I don't need anything.
She's just had a really rough day. A death in the family.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Be right back.
Thank you.
He then tells her to call the hotel number needed for his assassination attempt on the Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security that we saw in the news earlier.
You're gonna kill Keith, aren't you?
You know, you really need to start worrying more about your dad, Lise.
How am I supposed to know if he's okay?
She demands she talk to her dad before making the call to see if he's unharmed.
Dad?
Honey, I know you don't like it when I ask, but are you all right?
And he hangs up.
Please?
But before he can get the operation going, he's got to go help that woman he helped earlier. And the self-help lady gives her a little unintentional assistance regarding the situation. But he's well aware of what just happened, and he knocks her up.
What's she doing?
Oh, much better.
Later on, we catch up with the other passengers in the cabinet, as we see one of them doodling on his notebook with a rather unique-looking pen, which seems to be so important that the movie just had to show us it. She eventually comes to, revealing that he had stolen the book from the self-help lady and starts taunting her with some of its quotes.
I'm challenging you, starting now, to stop dealing in opinions and assumptions and start dealing in facts. Fact.
Well, we can rest easy knowing that at least it wasn't Dianetics this time.
Right here. Fact. You've been out for half an hour, and Keith's room still hasn't been changed.
He gets her to comply with the hotel operation and converses with her sister once more. But the plan to change Keith's room fails due to a service outage.
Excuse me, miss? The phone's not working.
Oh, they sometimes cut out during storms.
Wait, you don't have a backup plan?
While all this is going on, we cut back to Colonel Stryker as he's doing his normal routine, and we can get a close view of the hitman. Back on the plane, he starts giving even more information on her, showing that he's been stalking her for quite some time.
Before tonight, I mean. And as far as I can tell, your life revolves around your job. The occasional cocktail at the corner cafe, the classic late-night movies, oh, and scrambled eggs at 3 a.m.
I have to go to the restroom.
She heads off into the lavatory, most likely in an attempt to try and get some help, But with him watching her every move, this could be a little tricky. We also notice the girl from earlier waiting in line. While in the laboratory, she starts breaking down, trying to figure out what to do next. So she tries to leave a message on the mirror, but her timing couldn't have been any worse, as the phone services are back up and he catches her in the act. He starts pointing out plot lines from Airport 1975.
Remember the handle by the book stewardess? She'd have gone straight to the cockpit and we'd landed somewhere else.
While warning her not to cross him ever again.
And stop gambling with his life.
He then comes across the scar on her clavicle.
Someone do that to you?
And it's implied that this is not the first time she had been caught in this type of situation. She tries lying and he calls her out on it.
You're not such an honest person. Because I've followed you for 8 weeks now and I never once saw you order anything but a fucking sea breeze.
You should have at least gone for the Long Island iced tea! Interesting fact. Did you know that this strike Killian just gave Rachel in this scene was actually real? And that she had been out cold for at least a half an hour during filming?
I never lied to you, Elise. You know why? Because it doesn't serve me.
They then get back to their seats to resume the mission. We then cut to a shot where this guy's pen is missing.
Yo, you steal my pen, jackass?
Which must mean something important is happening to it.